SmallRig has a new cage kit for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max for serious shooters, and this video will be all about my tips and tricks for how I use it. Just to be clear here, I didn't co-design the cage this time, but this is a direct update from last year's co-designed model. We're going to open the box and see what's inside, then I'll show you how I do handheld camera moves, different handle configurations, and tripod shots in horizontal and vertical. I'll try out the included VND and black mist filters, including stacking them together. We'll also give the Bluetooth remote a quick try, and I'll take the kit out to shoot a nighttime festival in Hong Kong. Let's get started and see how this cage can improve your iPhone filmmaking. And if you don't have your iPhone 17 yet, you will have a chance to actually win one from SmallRig because they're running a contest and I am one of the judges. So more info on that at the end. This video is sponsored by SmallRig. When you open your new cage kit box, here's what you're going to get. There's an aluminum frame with 1/4-20 threads, cold shoe mounts, and hawk lock compatibility built in. You get 2 handles and 1 removable Bluetooth remote for triggering record wirelessly. These handles attach to the cage with these rotatable arms. You'll need a hex key to attach them, so thankfully you've got 2 included hex keys, 1 in each arm. You just remove the key when you need it. You'll also get back plates for T-mount lenses and 17mm lenses. And you'll get 2 kinds of rubber cases, one with an open back and one closed. Once the phone is in the case, it clicks into the cage like this. And you can attach those back plates like this. By the way, the closed back case is still MagSafe. The case also has a kickstand, which you can use vertically or horizontally. And the handles are quick release. There's also an optional magnetic 62mm filter kit, and here's what's in it. You've got a lens cap, magnetic adapter, circular polarizer, variable ND filter, and black mist filter. The VND darkens your image when it's too bright outside, and the black mist makes the highlights bloom. More on that later. To use the filters, you attach this filter adapter, which doesn't block any sensors, then you drop the filter on top, and that's it. Note that you can still use the filters on the case, even when it's separate from the cage. And here's the full cage kit all put together, horizontal mode and vertical. All right, let's go get some shots. But before we jump into that, I'll just run through the most important settings that I use in the Blackmagic camera app. I shoot HEVC to save storage space, 4K resolution, and Apple Log 2 color space for the best dynamic range. When I plan on doing camera movement, I shoot 48 frames per second, 180-degree shutter, and I use the extreme stabilization mode, which is the most similar to the stabilization of the native camera app. And that's the most important stuff to know. One of my favorite features of the SmallRig phone cages is the quick release handles that you can rotate to get the best possible grip for any shot. So most of the time, I don't even need a gimbal. Here's how the unstabilized footage looks as I shoot. And here's the final clip after the Blackmagic camera app applies the stabilization. Since I shot at 48p with a 180-degree shutter, I have half the motion blur of 24p, which means half the artifacts when the stabilization is applied. So basically, if you use a faster shutter speed, you get better stabilization. The other factor here is how you move your body. I always do a smooth start, and then I ninja walk without bouncing my shoulders at all, then I smoothly glide to a stop. The phone stabilization can't remove up and down bouncing, only the other little shakes, so you need to fly the iPhone as smoothly as possible. And here's our final result. For this next shot, I'll be using this weird handle position, and because it's a little brighter, I'm going to be dropping on the variable ND filter. I'm keeping the phone aimed forward while I walk to the side, which creates this parallax movement. The cage really helps me keep a grip when I'm doing unusual angles like this move. Trying to handhold the phone here while moving smoothly would be really difficult. For low angles, you can instantly go into top handle mode, which helps me to keep a grip that would otherwise be really hard to do by just gripping the phone's body. Having 2 solid points of contact makes this shot a lot easier to execute. The SmallRig cage also lets you attach accessories via 1/4-20 threads, so I used it here with my selfie stick tripod. It's not the most stable, but it is very travel friendly. Here I used my 48mm lens at 48 frames per second and filmed this slow-mo shot of Cece watching the world go by. Next, I quickly set up this shot of an escalator. I filmed her going up the escalator, and then back down again. Then I did a split screen in post to put her on both sides at once. This is a shot that you definitely need a tripod for so that everything lines up perfectly. You can also attach the phone vertically to your tripod. Here I used the new 8x lens, and I got a static shot of some futuristic architecture. Next, I tried out the black mist filter from SmallRig's filter kit. It's magnetic, so you just drop it on to cover all the lenses at once. And here you see the effect. It creates a subtle bloom on the highlights that feels nostalgic and warm, and it lowers the overall contrast just a bit. And here's how it looks without the filter. Notice how it looks more modern and contrasty overall. For this next shot, I did something I call the napkin slide. I set my tripod on some napkins, and I just pushed it very slowly across the table. This allowed me to do really controlled movements that look like a slider or a dolly. Now here's that same shot without the black mist filter. I think the black mist really helps to take the digital edge off the ultra sharp footage from the iPhone. Without the filter, things just look a little bit too clean. You can also stack these filters. First the black mist, then the variable ND. So then I can get the mist effect even when I'm shooting outdoors in the daytime. For these shots, I intentionally cooled the white balance and lowered the exposure to get a moody look. And here's a few more shots I grabbed using the filter stack combo. Notice how the overexposed highlights of this window actually look kind of nice with the black mist effect on them. With my stacked filters, my selfie stick tripod, and the cage kit, I took a ferry ride and tried out some more shots. Now I had 3 points of contact for keeping things steady. Blackmagic camera allows precise manual focusing, and by holding the handles of the cage, it was easier to use my thumb to adjust focus. The black mist filter added a nostalgic glow to these shots that I really like. And for this shot, I synchronized my camera move to the movement when CC leans forward in her seat. One feature not to be forgotten is that Bluetooth remote. To get started, you just need to hold down the button on the remote until the light flashes quickly, then open Bluetooth pairing on your phone and connect. Then you just click once to trigger record. I use it here to film this self shot without needing to touch the camera. Then I click the remote once more to stop recording. It's as simple as that. Finally, I took out the SmallRig cage to the annual Fire Dragon Festival in Hong Kong. For these low-light shots, I was shooting 24p with a 1/50th shutter, which means I needed to move extra smoothly to avoid motion blur artifacts in the stabilized footage. And to steady my static shots, I sort of pushed the handles together as I gripped them. This event was almost too dark to shoot on the phone, but because I was shooting log, I could manipulate the shadows and the highlights in post to get the most out of my image. And rotating those handles got me a better grip when I needed to reach over the crowd and zoom in on the action with the 8x lens. By the way, if you're thinking about going to this event, just know that it is very, very crowded, and I recommend showing up early and learning a little bit about the dragon's walking route beforehand. Otherwise, you might find it a bit tricky to get a good view of the action. All right, if you enjoyed this video, but you're still dreaming about having your own iPhone 17, that's what I'm going to talk to you about right now. SmallRig is running a contest. It's called Rig to Pro, and in this contest, you can win an iPhone 17 Pro Max, as well as a bunch of different accessories. The deadline to enter the contest is December 9th, so you have to post your entries before then if you want to be considered for the grand prize. And to enter, here's what you need to do. You need to make a social media post that shows your iPhone rig, in other words, like a BTS shot of your rig. And in that same post, you also need to show something that you've shot with the rig, whether it's a photo or a video. And then you can post it on Instagram or TikTok or one of the Chinese platforms. And you need to tag SmallRig Global, as well as using the hashtag #RigToPro in the post. You can find more details on how to enter on SmallRig's channels. Just look for the pinned posts. So here's what you can win. Every 2 weeks, SmallRig will be giving away an iPhone 17 Pro cage to a Most Creative Award winner. And at the end of the contest, one grand prize winner will get the iPhone 17 Pro Max with 256 gigs of internal storage. And the judge for that grand prize is going to be me. I will be selecting my favorite post from the finalists and choosing who wins the big prize. Additionally, there will be 6 randomly picked winners who will get iPhone 17 cases. So even if you don't win one of the big prizes, you could still randomly win a case. So if you love to show off your iPhone rig and you also want to see the creative stuff that you make with that rig, this is the perfect contest for you. Check out SmallRig's social media channels if you want to find out more, and also check the description of this video. Just remember, if you want to impress me and win that grand prize, you do have to enter by December 9th. All right, get out there, get shooting. I can't wait to see what you make. Okay, so those are my tips and tricks for using the new SmallRig cage kit for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. Hope you found it helpful. Please do click like and subscribe and check the video description for all the product links. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.